you join me inside the new Kia EV6 GT. Now, we already know the EV6 is a brilliant electric car. It is, after all, our 2022 car of the year. But this is no ordinary EV6. This one has 577 brake horsepower from its 2 electric motors, one on the front axle and another on the rear, so it's 4-wheel drive. It costs around about £62,000 to buy, and on paper at least, it can do 0 to 62 in 3.5 seconds.
This is the Audi RS3. Obviously, it's not electric, but it's available for similar money if you go for this particular version. It's got less power, about 394 brake horsepower. It weighs a lot less though, so that's 1,570 kilograms. And the claimed 0 to 62 miles per hour time is 3.8 seconds. So, which is quicker? We're about to find out. But before we start, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can see all of our other new car reviews as soon as they go live, and tell us in the comments below what drag races you'd like to see. And if you're looking for a new car, don't forget, go to whatcar.com for a great deal.
Right, so I'm going to push this little GT button here, and that puts everything in maximum attack. On paper at least, as I've already said, this car should have the RS3 to 60 miles an hour. Not sure about the 1/4 of a mile, but let's find out what happens in real life.
3, 2, 1, go!
Let's go. We're away.
Oh, I've got him off the line, I think.
We're away. My foot is absolutely pinned to the floor. Oh my God, that EV6 is just absolutely cannoned off the line. That is ridiculous.
Oh God, this thing's fast.
I'm pinned. I'm pinned.
Is he going to get back at me? No. If anything, pulling out a bit more of a lead. Absolutely annihilated it. I didn't expect that.
Well, my God, that was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Right, come on RS3, I don't want to get murdered in the comments. So, I'm in dynamic, traction control is in sport, stop start is off, launch control should just work again. Let's see.
3, 2, 1, go!
There we go, come on, come on. Ooh, good off the line, but he's away.
Oh, we've had him off the line. It's quite close though.
Oh my God, get absolutely dropped. Oh well. This does sound a lot better though, doesn't it?
I think we might have him. Yes.
And across the line.
So it was a surprisingly easy win for the EV6 in the end. Both cars were actually very closely matched from 0 to 40 miles an hour, although a slight delay on the Audi's launch control system meant it was always a few meters behind in the race. Above 40, the EV6 started to pull out a comfortable lead, hit 60 miles an hour in 3.5 seconds, and did the 1/4 of a mile in 11.9 seconds, almost a second faster than the Audi. And that was on a relatively low grip, dusty surface. On stickier tarmac, both cars would have been even faster. Now, the GT costs about £15,000 more than our favourite GT line model. And apart from a lot more power, of course, what else do you actually get for that? Well, on the outside, the car actually looks very similar, although you do get a GT badge, so people will realise you've bought the fastest version. The biggest difference though are these wheels. They are 21 inches as standard. The GT Line S, that gets 20s, and the GT Line and the Air models, they get 19s. You also get much stickier Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres. You can probably see those neon yellow brake calipers there. They are standard, and of course you get more powerful brakes as well to handle all that extra performance. The neon yellow colour scheme continues. You've got a GT button here and some stitching on the steering wheel. You've also got some matching piping on the seats here. Now, these seats are actually different than they are in other versions of the EV6. They're not full bucket seats, but they are a bit more supportive. They hold you in place better when you're going around corners. The only thing is though, is they're not electric. So on other versions of the EV6, including even the GT line version, which is much cheaper than this, as I mentioned earlier, you get full electric seats as standard. And you also get a handy feature that essentially means you can turn the seat into the type of bed you'd get on a business class flight by pressing a button down here. And that's really handy. It means you can have a snooze or just chill out while you're waiting for the car to charge. You don't get that on the GT version, and to move the seat around, you need to use your own muscle. And that's a little bit disappointing given all that extra money you're spending. So the EV6 GT has just proved how insanely fast it is in a straight line, but what's it like if you throw in a few corners? Well, this car actually has completely different suspension to other versions of the EV6. This car has an adaptive setup, whereas lesser versions of this car have passive suspension. And what that means is here you can adjust the stiffness of the dampers. So you can do that in one of two ways, either by choosing one of several pre-selected driving modes. So there's normal, there's sport, and there's GT as well. But if you do that, then it also affects the steering and the accelerator response as well. If you want to mix and match, then you can do that, but you have to go into a sub menu on the touchscreen here, and that allows you to, say, put the suspension in its most comfortable setting, but make the accelerator response as sharp as it possibly can be. And interestingly, Albert Biermann, who recently retired but did a lot of the development work for this car and loads of other Hyundais and Kias over the last few years, apparently his preferred setup is everything in maximum tach, apart from the suspension, which he reckons is best left in normal. And I can see why, actually, because if you make things too stiff, then particularly on a bumpy road, this car gets thrown around quite a bit, particularly when you've got cornering forces involved. It makes it hard to be smooth, and this car doesn't really flow along the road very well. If you make the suspension softer, put it into its normal setting, then it does flow better, but then you're left with a bit more body lean. So really, you're left with something that's not too dissimilar from a regular EV6, only that can carry loads more speed into corners. There is, of course, more grip because this car, as I said earlier, has really sticky Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres. This is also a tall and very heavy car. It weighs about 2.2 tonnes, so it's nowhere near as agile as something like a Tesla Model 3 Performance. That's an electric car that costs around the same sort of money as this. Now, the Tesla isn't as delicate, as involving as the best petrol performance cars like the BMW M3 and the Alfa Giulia Quadrifoglio, but it is incredibly effective at going around corners. There's loads of grip, body control is exceptionally good, and because of how direct the steering is, it gives you confidence to push really hard close to the car's limits. This, if I'm honest, feels a bit overpowered for the chassis it has. Fine if you just want something that can out-accelerate 99% of other cars on the road, and is also fairly easy to live with. The ride's not that much firmer than it is on other versions of the EV6. But if you want a really great all-round performance car that isn't just crazy quick in a straight line, but it's also capable through the corners, then there are better options, even in the electric car class.
The RS3 might not be quite as quick in a straight line, but it's in a different league as a driver's car. It's much lighter and has a lower centre of gravity as well, so it's way more agile. And better steering, more predictable brakes, and a more playful handling balance make it way more fun on any road with corners. For lots more information on both cars, head over to our website whatcar.com to read our detailed written reviews. Leave us a comment and hit the thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe for lots more drag races, reviews and new car reveals. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.